Musically.
Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? Is your week off to a great start? Are y'all falling for the okey doke today? I hope that y'all not believing nothing that you are reading or hearing today. Okay, you can believe it, but just be leery, right? So anyway, so happy April Fool's Day. I hope that y'all are having a wonderful day. I hope y'all ain't got fooled too bad. I ain't really seen too much in my timeline. It's been a lot of truth. Well, my news feed. I haven't seen a lot of my news feed. It seems like it's just been a lot of truth today. Ain't nobody playing no tricks. Y'all don't do April Fools no more. All right, y'all. Now listen, before I get started, you know I have to do my spiel. Okay. Before we get into today's show is gonna be pretty cool. Pretty cool. But anyway, please make sure that you are liking, subscribing across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You gotta put the period in there. If you don't put the period, you're gonna be somewhere else. Okay. On Facebook, it's Relationship Soup Group. Come and join the forum. Of course, we're gonna get into from the principal's inbox today. We got a couple topics we're gonna tackle them today. I was about to say attack them. On Facebook, if you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And of course, we got all these occasions. We got all this stuff coming up. Listen, go to relationshipsoup.com for your greeting card needs. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into this show today. Um, Now, listen, this is the 64th episode. And this one is entitled When Life Feels Like an April Fool's Joke. Probably like, yo, Lisa, why that? Well, it's April Fool's today. And let's just be honest. Okay, so April Fool's, as y'all know, is a holiday, I guess, kind of, right? Where it's like, it's supposed to be lighthearted. You play a prank, on somebody, and it's supposed to be lighthearted, but it ain't always lighthearted. I know over the years, I've seen some crazy pranks. Like, even people who are in relationships, and if it was me, I would have been like, nah, bro, I would have been out. That's too far, right? So anyway, listen. So that was the motivation for today's show because let's just be real. Sometimes in life, it can be a little lighthearted, but sometimes you be like, am I being punked? Look, is Ashton Kutcher about to drop, like pop out? Is this like an April Fool's prank? Has life felt so crazy where it feels like you was being pranked? Maybe. No. I can say for me, I can. So this is what I'm going to do today. Of course, we're going to have the true false game. We're going to have from the principal's inbox. And if you want to share some of your experience, you want to get in here in the studio, listen, come to the studio. Let's talk about it. Just gonna share some stories. Thank y'all for y'all DMs. Okay. Thank you for your participation in the soup as well. I'm gonna share some of that. Okay. And then of course, as we do, share your advice, share your experiences or whatever. Right? All right. Cool. So let's see here. I see Reese. What's up? Soup Lease joining from the road. Just left work. That's what's up, Reese. Hey, it's in the if you want to get in here in the virtual studio, feel free to do that. Of course, the link, you know, the link is in the thread. All right, so this is if you want to join me in the virtual studio, here's the link right here. All right, boom. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So anyway, like I said, now April Fools, y'all know it's supposed to be lighthearted. Okay. So this is what I want to do. Do y'all have something that has happened where y'all were like, for real? Is this real life right now? Am I being pranked? Whether it's in relationships, workplace, dating, whatever. Share it. Let's talk about it. All right, I'm gonna talk about a few of my own. Okay. So anyway, now I'll dive into kind of a light one, right? All right, so I think I'm gonna basically surround mine with kind of like lighthearted dating situations, all right, or just random situations, okay? All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. Now, although we should not take, and let me remind y'all, no, we shouldn't take life so seriously. It's really never personal. It's all for our growth, right? But anyway, we're just gonna have a conversation today, and I hope that y'all get some laughs and just kind of laugh at some of the things that have happened to you in life. All right, so this is what I want to do, and don't judge me, okay? Now listen, we listen and don't judge, right? So don't be judging me. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to share a couple of my experiences where I was kind of like, is this an April Fool's joke? Is this, what's really going on? So this is what I'm going to do. All right. So listen to this. Picture this. And don't take it like I ain't used to people doing nice stuff for me because people do. I have been pretty blessed. And probably like a lot of us have been blessed where people do nice things for you. But this was just so random. So peep it. Check this. So it was a nice day or whatever, right? Trying to set the scene. It was a nice day. And I was in like this boutique or whatever, just looking at some stuff or whatnot. And I had my eye on this item. I was like, oh, this is cute. So I was talking to the sales rep or whatever. She was trying to convince me to get it. So in walks these guys or whatnot, right? So, one spoke to me and I was like, he's like, what's up? You know how y'all be doing. So anyway, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? So I'm talking to her or whatever. Then I'm like, yo, I don't even really know if I'm going to get this or whatever. So then he comes over ear hustling, right? I'm just kind of looking like, so anyway, I was like, yeah, I don't even know if I really want this. So, he was like, nah, go on and wrap it up for her. I got her. So I was like, nah, you really ain't got to do that. Now he's like, nah, I got you. I don't even want nothing for you from you. I just want to do something nice for you. So I'm kind of looking around like, it's kind of random. So anyway, she rings up. Fast forward, she rings up the my item or whatever, and so he starts talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, I don't want nothing from you. I just want to do something nice." And so I'm thinking, okay, is this a setup? I'm gonna get bum rushed when I get to the car. Anyway, so needless to say, so I was like, well, thank you so much. That was really nice of you. I mean, because I'm really kind of like I appreciate this gesture, but it just felt like a situation. So anyway, needless to say, he walked me to the door or whatever. I went to my car. Did nothing happen out of it. So that was cool, right? Kind of like reality show, kind of, right? I didn't get punked. I didn't get beat up or nothing. It was just, he wanted to do something nice for me. Didn't ask for my number, nothing. Just wanted to do something. So it is really good people out there that don't want nothing from you, right? All right. So anyway, that was just one of the lighthearted ones. And I'm going to get into some of the stories that were shared with me via DM, conversation, soup, all of that. So we're going to get into that. All right. So do y'all have any stories? Don't let me take over. Reese, I know you got one. I know you driving, but you got a story. Think about it. I see you in the studio. You going to share? All right. All right, y'all. So let me get into something else. All right. When you ready to come on, just blink once for yes, two for no, or whatever. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue, y'all. So I can remember another situation. Now listen, this family member should be, I'm not even gonna mention who this family member is. Now this really felt like a really bad April Fool's prank, for real. Like this particular family member always trying to link me up, hook me up with somebody, right? And I'm chuckling because I know they're probably watching and gonna laugh because they're gonna know what I'm talking about. So this is what happened. So um they were trying to make good for the first hookup that was a complete fool. So they was like, "Yeah, cousin, I want you to meet somebody or whatever." And I'm like, "All right." So, I am, you know, divorced, finally divorced or whatever, right? So I'm not quite outside, but I was kind of outside enough just for friends. And I'm like, "Yo, fam, I really don't want to, I'm not trying to get serious. I'm going to be on this healing journey or whatever because y'all know 2023 for me was a fool, right? As I've mentioned on several episodes. So basically what happened, she was like, "Nah, fam, it's cool. It's cool. I'll let them know, whatever, whatever." Now, y'all, I'm chuckling because being outside, it's a fool outside. So what had happened was, I remember, anyway, exchange numbers, whatever, whatever. So first conversation was kind of, it was interesting. Like the first conversation, y'all know when y'all first meet somebody or whatever, first conversation is just kind of cool. Hey, how you doing? The little basic stuff, right? But this brother really had a chip on his whole shoulder, right? So anyway, we're just talking or whatnot. So he gets on to something like, do you date white men or something? And I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's a valid question. I'd be sticking with the chocolate. So then he was like, "Yeah, I mostly just date white women because black women this, and this." And I'm like, "Oh my God." First conversation, bro. Can we like learn each other's favorite color or something? So anyway, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Just gonna continue the conversation. So anyway, I asked this brother's middle name. You know what he told me? I'm saving that for my wife. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Cool. All right. And I just said a joke, you don't want to tell me it must be messed up, whatever. And I'm laughing, right? Do you know this brother went into how I was emasculating him because I asked for his middle name? So I'm like, is this a joke? Like, surely my fam, my cuz, you know what I mean? Like, you got my cousin on three-way. Like, what the hell? Like, it was just so crazy. But anyway, so that was just like one of my situations that felt like a prank. It's like for real. I just came out of this hole. My 2023 is crazy, and then I'm meeting more crazy. So anyway, I was like, man, life feel like an April Fool's prank right now, right? Well, in the time, I was like, man, I know you lying. That's what it was. But for the sake of this episode, it felt like a prank. I'm just saying. It was a fool. It was a fool. Yes, he did say because I asked him for his middle name. And I was just joking, because I mean, y'all can kind of see from my personality. I really feel like I'm funny. Like I feel like a closet comedian low key, you know. And I was like, your name must be messed up. You don't want to tell me, that's how I really was. I really don't care. I didn't care. Can I just put out there? I did not care what his middle name was. I really didn't. I was just trying to make conversation. I'm back outside again after being, married for so long. And so, I'm just, being cool. And this brother went into, yes, brother. This brother went into how I was emasculating him because I asked him for his middle name. Where they do that at? Where they do that? So that was that. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So anyway, Reese, let me know if you want to come on because I got another story. I got one more. If you want to get in here and talk about one of your situations, you want to get in here? Not okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna share another one and I'm gonna share some situations and then we're gonna go on because wait till we get to from the principal's inbox. It's something else. All right, so I'm gonna bring Reese to the stage. Hey Reese, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Lise? What's up? What's up?
I'm
Happy
great.
on the awesome. Happy April. Happy April. What's up, Soup?
Okay. Right on. Like happy April Fools. I mean, do we do that? Like
I
April Fools?
mean,
Yeah.
I think April Fools were April Fools. You know, I consider myself to not be a fool, so I don't play pranks. I don't play games. I'm too grown for that.
Listen, like I said, I can be a closet comedian in my own right.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna go far with it because see, let me tell you how I feel like my life is, right? I feel like I am such a strong manifester, and I feel like God would get me like if I do something and be like, oh yeah. So I don't even play with it. I ain't play none of them
Don't do.
pranks because I'm like, God gonna get me quick. You know what I'm saying?
God do be spinning the block.
Listen, listen. I I ain't gonna use I would never use the hey, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've seen
Yeah,
people
dude.
do that. And you know what? In engagements and stuff. And I remember posts, like I remember being in on social media or whatever, right? And seeing a
Yep.
post, I'm like, oh my God, God is so good. I'm wishing blessings on these people, and they like, April Fools. Okay.
That's
All right. And
that's
you know
wild.
what? Let me tell you what my inner petty was. I would go back and delete my comment. Like you
No,
got me
that's
wishing you got me wishing you a congratulations, and you not even pregnant. You got me
right.
wishing you a congratulations, and you not even getting married. For real,
Yeah.
I'm
Why you
taking it
playing?
back.
Yeah, I would take it back too. I mean, I have an
Just
inner petty
lying,
too.
just lying.
Yeah. Why you always lying? Yeah, for
So,
real.
so Reed, so do you have
Yes.
a situation in life, whether it was workplace, family, friends, dating, relationships, marriage, whatever, where it felt like an April Fool's prank?
Ooh, I just think honestly, in general, in life, when you're going through the ebbs, it feels like an April Fool's joke because you just be like, when life be life, and you like this can't be for real. And when you go through those moments, and good or bad, I think that when you're in the ebbs, you often ask like, man, what's going on? This is like this got to be a joke. And oftentimes when life presents itself to be real, you're like, wow, I was hoping it would be, especially loss of loved ones, breakups, heartaches. You be wishing those moments are a joke. And then sometimes, you know, when life sours you and you go through enough ebbs in your life and you actually get to see the flows of life and the blessings, sometimes you like, am I being set up? You know, like, I remember, a lot of times in my life, I've done great things for people. And like this one story where I blessed my friend, he was actually going through a hard time, my best buddy from Florida. And I actually blessed him and his daughter for Christmas.
Mhm.
And so I kid you not, least like what I literally paid for the gifts. Like it was at the time, it was Toys R Us was still open at the time, and they literally gave me what I paid for the gifts in a gift card. And I was like, "You playing?" They're like, "Nah, we just want to bless you." And I was like, "Nah, you set me up for it." It's like, "Is this for real?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's like it's for real." You were like the it was just like something like, yeah, we want to bless certain customers, and we gonna bless you with this money. And I was like, that's crazy. And so it almost felt like a setup because I was like, I wasn't doing it for that, but I just think that when you move with the pure intentions, blessings come like that. But then also when you're going through the hard times, like it feels like man, this can't be real. What did I do to deserve that kind of pain and agony in my life and that ebb in my life? So it goes both ways. It's there's good, like surprising, there's bad, like, yo, this can't be for real, this can't be life. So,
Absolutely. And it's
yeah.
crazy because one of the situations I was going to share tonight, basically, you know, I guess I don't like to say everybody. Some of us have that person, right? That we want to, hey, let me hold something. You know what I mean? Let me
Oh.
hold something, right? And
Oh.
but they be holding it forever. You don't never get it back.
And
But at least,
stay out of my
but
business, Lee. Stay out of my business.
listen, but at least your people was like, yo, we gonna bless you back with it. So at least you
but
got
see
it back.
but see, the funny thing about life, lease, is that, and I'm sorry, I don't mean it was that oftentimes people that's begging for it never get it back, but God will spend a block on you through somebody else. So I get a lot of people, I'm a good dude, and I get a lot of friends helping me out. Matter of fact, um, the other week, I'm not gonna put nobody's business out there, but I've helped some people in the past week. Reached out to me. That's just the guy that I am. Because I see somebody down, and now, I believe in blessing people if I have that to extend to them. But yeah, oftentimes, some of the people they'll never pay you back, but God be paying you back. So I'm like, hey, I'm Gucci. I ain't gonna go stress it out. So.
Absolutely. And they say like if you want to like loan money or whatever, you shouldn't give it if you don't really have it or
Oh,
expect it back. You know what I'm saying?
that's
But I can attest to that too. Like seriously, and we joking now. I don't really I don't even, trip about it coming back. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No.
Because it is true. God does bless me. He does. Like, it's just like, oh, okay then. And that's not the reason why I do it because I really do have a heart for people. Now,
Yes.
now, even having a heart for people, I do have my boundaries too. If I feel moved, I'm gonna
Oh.
do it. If I
Oh.
don't feel moved, I'm not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. Because listen, that keep in mind that boundary piece because what I have later, it blew my mind. It was something that was talked about in Super. So that's that.
Yes.
That's that. So
Yeah, I agree.
so Reese, you ain't never had no other crazy situations.
I'm sure I have. I
You
can
just
think of
don't.
some.
You just
I
don't.
mean, I'm sure I've had, things in my past, from dating in my past that I'm like, yo, that's wild. That I was like, wait, what? Um, but because I'm a genuine person, again, set boundaries. I'm not no fool, but I give from my heart. But oftentimes when I have people do stuff, and I'm like, okay, that was really cool. But sometimes we wonder like, okay, what's up? So, but that's how kind of life can sour you. So you should always look for the good in things, and then just let life prove you wrong or right in those situations. But off the top of my head, I mean, I can't think of like a negative example where it's like I felt like I was being like set up, and then it turned out to be all right, or verse it didn't. But I know I've had situations. I just can't think of any off the top of my head personally.
That's what's up. Well, this is what I'm gonna do, Reese. I know you driving, so I'll bring you back on. I want you to concentrate on the road. Or do you plan to stay in the studio? You gonna stay in the studio for a bit?
I said
Okay,
I'll
cool.
still see.
Okay, cool, cool. I'm gonna share a couple more stories, and then I'll bring you back. Cool. All right, right on. All right, so y'all, so I'm gonna tell a couple more stories. I see you, Derek Norris. What's the science? Good evening, everybody. Oh, hi, mom. Hi to your mom too. Yeah, you know my mama watching, and she's doing so well, Derek. Thank you again for all of the prayers and all of that, and love and light to your mama too. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna tell a couple more stories. So this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna tell one more of mine, a couple more of mine, and then I'm gonna get into different scenarios. Scenarios. Somebody was teasing me scenarios. Hey, I'm bougie. I'm fancy. I be fancy. So I'm gonna share some more scenarios, and then of course I'm just gonna, we can give a little advice, and then of course an affirmation because that show last week that went pretty well. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna share another situation. So this is the thing, and this is one reason why I just take time to heal. I've learned after a situation, take time to heal. So another situation was, so again, at this time, I was freshly look the ink was dry on the little decree. So I was outside a little bit. Just so anyway, one of my friends hit me up, yeah, Lise, let's go out or whatever. Boom. I'm like, all right, let's get it. So we go out, cool. So okay, I'm going too fast. So, hey, Lisa, let's hang out. I was like, all right, cool. So me and my cousin was planning to hang out. So I was like, yeah, yo, I want to go ahead and bring my cousin if that's cool. All right, no problem. Say less. Yeah, that's what's up. We can all meet, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, cool. Now, so there's kind of a backstory because me and this person, we used to kind of talk a little bit, right? So, anyway. So anyway, we get to this place. We all meet up. Cool. But it just seems like it was this totally weird vibe in the air. It's just weird. It's super weird. I'm like, man, this feels weird. So anyway, long story short, fast forward, had drinks, go home, and then that night or whatever, my cousin hits me up and was like, "Yo, me and such used to, kind of mess around." And it's a fool because I used to kind of talk to this person too. I'm like, "Damn, when this happened or whatever." So it just seemed real crazy anyway. So just nuts. So anyway, so what's y'all? Do y'all got some crazy situations where y'all were like, "Dang, am I being punked right now? Am I being punked?" Now, I know most of us probably got a workplace situation. Come on. Okay, I'll share a couple more workplaces. Now, this one, what had happened was, this is another one that I had went through. Now, I had this big presentation to give. I worked for this university at the time. And so I was looking cute. I had on my little pencil skirt, little, like dressy tee underneath with my jacket or whatever. But I keep doing this. Just keep on fixing. Y'all, listen. So it was like a couple minutes before I was to give my presentation. Why'd I have my shirt on backwards, bruh? I had my shirt on backwards. It was on the wrong way. And so anyway, so I was like, man, this is a prank because who does this at this grown age? But anyway. So anyway, thank y'all for y'all DMs. I'm gonna go ahead and share a couple of y'all stories. Again, if y'all have any situations, feel free to share. Then we're gonna get into from the principal's inbox. Y'all, this blew my mind. Okay, because I don't know what I would do in one of the situations. Okay, so workplace situation. So somebody says basically they have been working on a major project. Now, y'all, think about this. How many times has this happened to you? Okay, and I'm gonna leave names out. Okay, so if it's you, you feel free to claim it in the chat if you want to. So this person had been working on a major project, and her coworker stole the idea, right? And got recognition for it, got promoted and everything. And then look, didn't even include this person in on no aspect of the project. Has that ever happened to y'all? Have y'all ever been in a situation where y'all didn't put all this hard work in, right? You done came up with these dope ideas, all for somebody to steal your stuff and get recognition for it. Has that ever happened to y'all? Now, if that don't feel like an April Fool's prank, like, listen, where Ashton at? Because I know you lying, right? And I've been in that situation too. That's why, for me personally, and I was just sharing this with one of my with one of my colleagues. That's why I don't really put too much out there. Listen, or I'm gonna document it. You know, I'm gonna have it documented where it's like Lisa did this. You know what I'm saying? Because people be stealing your ideas all the time, and they will take credit for it. So anyway, besides making sure that you cover yourself, make sure that you speak up too. If you're ever in this situation, the person that was in this situation, hey, speak up. You know, sometimes you gotta advocate for yourself. And affirmation for you, my talents and hard work will be rewarded in due time. So even though they were shisty with it, they took your stuff. You're gonna be rewarded. You're gonna be recognized. Okay. All right. So anyway, now Reese talked about earlier, but it was more family. So I guess family and friendship, we can just put this all under the same umbrella. Okay. Now listen, y'all. Have y'all ever, I see your comment there. Let me bring your comment up. Been there many times, ideas and achievements stolen with no recourse. Absolutely. But you know what though? That's when you gotta get tap into your spiritual self. You gotta be like, you know what? Okay. Put your Denzel. Okay. All right. Okay. No. But you just gotta tap into your inner spiritual self and be like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, y'all can have them little crumbs. I'm gonna be recognized one way or another. If it's not through this organization, it'll come back tenfold for me. Right. So anyway. I don't even know. I mean, try to find the flattery in that. I'm just saying. Me being me, I made it. I know you did, Aries. I know you did. Hey, listen, I already know. You ain't gonna play with it. You ain't gonna play with it at all. And I would say, yeah, speak up. And then, sometimes if it does not go the way that you want it within due time, just know it all comes back around. It all comes back around. Real. All right, so let's see here. Friendships. Okay, so basically, y'all, now listen. Have you ever had, and I was just having this conversation with someone who has a sibling that do everything that they do, like it's a competition. Have y'all ever had a friend compete with y'all? And it's like everything that you do, they do. Like, and this person, basically, I'm just gonna paraphrase this. Like I said, I'm leaving out all names. Okay. So I got a new job, new car, new hairstyle. A month later, my friend had all similar things. New car, new hair, same hairstyle. Isn't that crazy? I ain't never like. I mean, the most I've done in a friendship is kind of like, okay, so like my friends have taste, right? They be wearing some cute stuff, so I might be like, where you get that from? Oh, okay, but I ain't trying to be exactly like them. Like, I ain't gonna be like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna be trying to be them. Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. But anyway, it does happen. So affirmation for you could be I surround myself with people who inspire and not intimidate. And truly intimidation can be very flattering. Now, unless they get real crazy with it where they threatening you and it's animosity and stuff like that, I mean, you probably need to have a conversation, like for real. I mean, because honestly, like I could say in my council, like we celebrate each other. We ain't competing. You know what I'm saying? I'm too grown to compete. I don't know if I've ever competed. I know in this grown age, I ain't competing. I'm cool. Sis, it ain't no competition for real. For real. All right, so anyway, here's another one. Oh, y'all, check this out. Now, I can always say, and I even kind of talked about it on one of my last episodes about like your true friends. Okay, because we still talk about friendship fiascos. Now, this person says, my friend introduced me to a great guy who turned out to be married. Listen, I'm gonna listen. My homegirls ain't never did that. Or family. Now they might have linked me up, like my family linked me up with some crazies. Okay, let me not say that because it's somebody for everybody. They linked me up with people that was not compatible, but never nobody married. That's a fool. So anyway, long story short, and how this person found out, and I'm just paraphrasing because it's a whole story, right? So basically, how they found out was through social media. Listen, when somebody trying to link you up, my advice to you is this: do your research, get first, last names, and go to social media. Don't forget my case and all that because you got to do your research, okay? Because you cannot assume that people do the research, right? Because I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about me, but people always be trying to like hook me up. Hey, I know somebody. I didn't learn my lesson, y'all. I'm just look. I let God do it. You hear me? I'm just gonna let God do it because listen. Not saying that it can't happen because truth be told, my mom met my dad because her homegirl hooked her up, which ended up, over 40 something years of marriage until daddy passed in 2023. So it can work. I'm just saying, do your research because everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your little friend, as my parents used to say. Everybody ain't your little friend, right? So anyway, had to find out through social media, and that's the thing. Listen, I know it's not just indie. I know it ain't just indie. Married people, stop. Stop. At what point do you get tired? You got a whole spouse. Stop. Just stop. Let us single people that ain't married, let us do us. Y'all out here trying to mess up lives and karma. You hear me? Y'all know adultery is crazy. I ain't judging you. I'm just saying stop. You know you married. You should not be letting nobody set you up. I'm just saying. Derek says, a few of my friends' stories. Listen, Derek, I do. I do. You want to share them again? I know you shared a few of them. I'm just saying. You want to share some more? All right. So anyway, and then of course, oh my gosh, have y'all ever had the friend that only calls when they need something? Like, man, am I being punked? You always call me. I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. It's still along the same line. Always like they don't call you to see how you doing. They just be like, hey, let me know something. Like, but mine is more. I've had a friend like that, but mine is more. I got a family member that just don't really be calling to see how I'm doing. Just more like, hey, let me hold something. But anyway, another situation, a friend that slept with your ex. Have y'all ever had a friend to sleep with your ex? Derek, now have you had that situation? I don't remember you talking about that one. Have you ever had a friend that slept with one of your exes? Have you? I can talk about one or two stories. Hey, pull up. Pull up to the virtual studio. The link is there. Here's the link right there. If you want to pull up in this virtual studio and talk about it, come on, Derek. I'll have you. But yeah, so have y'all ever had a friend sleep with y'all ex? Do y'all care? Do y'all really care? You know, I mean, I would be more concerned for my friend. I ain't really attached to my exes like that. I mean, we have our girl code, and we really don't have the same types. Like, but anyway, they. I don't know why any of my friends would want to do that because they already know the backstory on everything. All right. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get into a couple more, and then we're gonna get into from the principal's inbox. All right. So look, check this out. Okay. So listen to this. Ooh. Okay. So now let's get into relationships. Now we kind of talked about an ex date, not an actual ex. I was the one who did. Wait a minute. So an ex date, not an actual ex. So it was somebody your friend dated but wasn't serious with, and then you got with the ex. Is that what you did there? I mean, that's kind of if they weren't in a real relationship. uh, I don't know. I'm just cool. I'm just kind of cool off mine. So y'all listen to this. Now, this is a situation that was shared with me, y'all. Of course, I'm looking at my notes. So basically, what had happened was okay. So listen. All right, y'all. And these situations happen. I've heard it from both sides. Okay, so this friend actually shared this story with me. So this is what had happened was. Okay, so basically, this is I entitled this one "Baby Mama, Baby Daddy Drama." See, I don't know nothing about this. I just be observing. But anyway, so this is what had happened was. Okay, so this person is definitely a hands-on parent. Okay, and they have a child. Okay. And so basically, the relationship was just drama. It was a fool. Y'all know how I like to be like, it was a fool. Okay. So basically, they agreed on one thing, like the baby comes first or whatever. So they had a co parenting schedule. They had all that stuff, whatever. They didn't always see eye to eye. Okay, boom. fast forward. So now, of course, at some point, somebody moved on. So in this case, the person's baby mama moved on. Okay. So anyway, what had happened was, long story short, daddy's with the kid or whatever, and the kid's talking about how they didn't met mommy's new friend, and daddy's just kind of like, yo, whatever, whatever. So anyway, he felt the way. Like, wait a minute, why are you introducing this person to the child? You ain't ran nothing by me or whatever, because I'm not introducing, this child to nobody, right? So fast forward or whatever. I'm looking at my notes. So he confronts, baby mama or whatever, and she was like, you tripping. You overreacting, right? And so basically, this person felt the type of way, like, damn, here it is. I'm moving a certain way. I'm not introducing this child to nobody, but she out here doing everything. So anyway, so what is my advice? Look, all I can say is I think it's important that you, with co-parenting, that you have transparency, right? Again, I ain't nobody mama, right? I've been a stepmama. But I'm just saying, like, I think you should have transparency. You shouldn't have too many secrets. You feel me? And I think it's really important because people crazy, right? So I think you should kind of have a conversation, and maybe it depends on the age of the child. What y'all think? Any baby mama, baby daddies out here? What y'all think? I think you probably should have a conversation on maybe depending on the age of the child. Now, if the child is grown, who cares? Like, if your child is grown, I don't know. What y'all think? Should you always have a conversation regardless of the child's age? If you want this child to meet your new babe? What y'all think? Let me know what y'all think. So anyway, yeah, yeah, these situations, y'all, I promise I'm gonna get to from the principal's inbox here in a second. All right, so let's see here. Another one that I want to share. There's so many, and I thank y'all so much for sharing y'all situations with me. Yeah. This other person has shared that basically they had a girlfriend that just didn't ever leave. Like they was dating somebody, but then they just kind of like moved in and never left. Have you ever dealt with that? I ain't never dealt with that. Like I feel like if I ended up shacking up, it was mutual decision. It wasn't because somebody just usurped their way. Like, yo, I'm just gonna take over your spot. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and I'll share one more before I get into from the principal's inbox. Okay, y'all. Now listen to this. Have y'all ever had this happen? Now, I've seen this on social media. Okay, so this is what happened. So basically, have you ever, I ain't gonna read the whole situation. I'm just gonna ask y'all. Because honestly, this did happen to me. Have y'all ever been dating somebody who had kids and they ended up bringing their kid on the first date? Has that ever happened to y'all? Has it? It happened to me. It was many years ago though, but the kid was so cute. Like it was just so cute. But anyway, what would y'all do? If y'all went on a first date and they bought, they didn't have a babysitter or whatever, and you didn't know this kid was coming or whatever, and this person went on to talk about how they pretty much felt pressure to, go forward with the first date and just, provide a meal for the person and their kid or whatever. I actually had that happen where basically the baby mama was supposed to get the child, but it was a disagreement or whatever. So he ended up having the kid, and yeah, so it was me and this little 3-year-old. We was just like on the first date. So anyway, all right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into from the principal's inbox, y'all. Now, a couple of these blew my mind. I'm gonna share one that I don't know what I would do. I hope I'm never in that situation. So, all right, y'all. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna share my screen because y'all got to see this. Y'all absolutely have got to see this. Okay, boom. So, all right. So y'all see this picture right here. Now, what had happened was the person who circled, that's the bridesmaid. Okay, so obviously the people in orange are the bridesmaid. The one in white is the bride or whatever. This is probably the maid of honor or something, mama or something like that. So basically, this situation, now this will feel like a total April Fool's prank to me. The lady that circled is messing with the groom, the husband. Like they got a whole affair going on, y'all. So let me go ahead. Let me stop this share right here. What would y'all do? What would y'all do if the person that you married actually was messing around with with one of your groomsmen or your bridesmaid? Wouldn't that feel like you being punked? Isn't that crazy? So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and share another one because y'all, it's receipts and everything. Check this out. Got whole receipts and everything. You know what I mean? That's nuts. What would y'all do? What y'all do in that situation? Would y'all stay with the situation? Would y'all talk it out? Because I mean, they say everybody, some people make mistakes. It's different levels of mistakes. But what would you do? You gonna stay? You gonna confront her, him? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, there was a few comments on there, and people were just kind of like, that's not cool or whatever. Now, so what would y'all do? I'm just gonna put it out there. If you found out that one of your bridesmaids or groomsmen or whatever had messed with or was sleeping with your spouse, what would you do? All right, y'all. So I'm going to move on to another from the principal's inbox, get into our true false game, and I'm going to get out of here because y'all already know Tuesdays, sis be starving. Ready to eat. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. Now, this one truly blew my mind. And let me know, have y'all ever heard of this? Like, when I seen this, I'm like, what? I never thought about this, y'all. So let me go ahead and share this. Now, hopefully y'all can see my screen because I remember looking at another podcast or whatever, and StreamYard, I'm just letting y'all know, y'all ain't share a sister's screen. So I'm basically looking like I'm talking to myself. All right, so this says the nice guy says yes to everyone except his wife. At first glance, it doesn't make sense. A people-pleasing nice guy bends over backwards for coworkers, friends, and even strangers, but when his wife asks for something, he shuts down, resists, or flat out refuses. Here's why. Now listen, have you ever heard of that before? Now, okay, so this kind of puts a spin on things. So let me talk about the nice guy syndrome. Now, some of y'all are probably nice guys out here, and maybe y'all don't have this level of the syndrome. I don't know, but I never really thought about this. And we had the discussion in the group, and it was just like, aha, right? You know how you be looking at Instagram, TikTok, or something like that, and you be like, oh man, especially like when the pages are like therapists, psychologists, or whatever, and you'd be like, for real? So listen to this, y'all. So nice guy syndrome. And let me know if y'all have heard of this because I never thought about this. Okay. So basically, nice guys basically they feel like they're usually very excessively kind, agreeable, at the expense of their own needs and desires. The nice guy believes that they are good, kind, helpful to others, and all that, right? However, they typically hide their true feelings. Y'all, this gets so deep because I'm like, what? And I'm thinking about, damn, have I experienced this before? Now, as far as the comments in the group, pretty much there were people like, yeah, I've dealt with this or whatever, and it was very confusing or whatever. Okay. So anyway, so this gives a whole new spin. And I'm going to read some more about this nice guy syndrome because is this you? Are you a nice guy that does this? Are you in a relationship with a nice guy that acts like this? So to me, this puts a whole new spin. You know how they say that nice guys finish last? Ah, they wives and girls do. Okay, y'all, let me go ahead and get into this because when I saw this, I was completely like, jaw drop. Okay, so y'all listen to this. Does this describe you? All right. So pleasing isn't about being nice. Now I'm going to kind of read this. It's about fear, wounding, and feeling inadequate, right? So nice guy's self-worth is built on making others happy. He learned in childhood that good meant saying yes to keep the peace, avoiding conflict, and being easier to be around would not be rejected. Okay. It gets deep, y'all. Nice guys fear rejection, but they assume their wife isn't going anywhere. I know you lying. That's how y'all moving. So while he's terrified to say no to everybody else, he unconsciously dumps the resentment he carries for having no boundaries on her. Okay, it gets deeper, y'all. All right, so then it goes into he's afraid of being controlled. A nice guy sees his wife's needs as demands, not because she's controlling, but because he's emotionally exhausted from pleasing everyone else. He's secretly terrified of losing himself in the relationship, and he feels he resents being needed by one more person, even though she's the most important. He rebels against her basically because he's put her into the role of a mother. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm reading this. This is so nuts. All right. And so, anyway, because he looks at her as though she's an authority figure. Now, these are some things that a guy with this nice guy syndrome might say to his wife. He might say things like, she's always asking for more. Nothing I do is enough. I never get what I want. Have y'all heard that? Okay. All right. Because he never learned to say no in healthy ways, his boundaries come out passive aggressively. Fine, I'll do it. And and he builds up resentment. Why do I have to do everything around here? So basically he shuts down, and instead of communicating his needs, he lets them build and lashes out at the one person that is truly his safe space. Wow. So anyway, have you ever dealt with that? Have y'all ever heard of that? Now, when I seen that, I was like, wow. And I actually, I'm a researcher. So I'm just going to start researching things. And then I'm going to start matching up characteristics like, such and such was acting like this or whatever, right? So, anyway, like I said, they were commenting in the group, and people were basically saying how, they dealt with this and how it was really hard for them to deal with somebody like that. All right. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. So, if y'all a nice guy out there, act right. Do that. So I guess my advice overall would be like with any situation, because we all have things. A lot of us probably have things that we have to work on. I don't ever like to say all. So for the nice guy, because I like a nice guy. And you know what? Maybe again, sis, is that why some sisters be like, or some women be like, I want a bad boy because the nice guys really don't be acting nice with you? Is that what it is? What y'all think? So anyway, for the nice guy, work on self. Work on self. Okay. Like you gotta have to get deep. Work on your shadow self, all of that. Learn to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. Start saying no so you can say yes to your wife or heck, even your girl or your fiance, right? Don't be doing her like that. That's hey, she got your back if she's a good one. You have to have honest communication, right? You got to be real. You can't be bottling it all up. You got to talk, right? And then you got to identify, as some of my elders would say, the root causes. You gotta look. You gotta understand, where is this coming from? Was it childhood patterns? Was it family dynamics? Was it past relationships? Like, what made you this nice guy that feel like you want to treat the person that loves you the most stank? And practice self care. Yes, guys. I have talked about this on previous shows. I probably mentioned on 90% of my podcast. Okay, maybe more like 83% of my podcast. Self care is everything. Nice guys often neglect their own well being for others. And eventually you're going to burn out. Baby, you only human. You only human. You're going to burn out. Okay. So, you might want to consider, finding out a self care routine, right? Check in with yourself. Do a temperature check with self. Get some hobbies that you like, activities that give you joy and fulfillment. Now, for the woman dealing with that, because I can say I dealt with that before. I was like, dang. Because, like I said, whenever I find out things and if they resonate with my spirit, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of research, right? Because I be trying to have understanding of stuff. Okay. So, anyway, for a woman that's going through this with a nice guy, you got to express your needs clearly, right? And be gentle with it because they already on edge. They already burnt out. Okay. So you would have to probably express in a way that's not blaming, that's not attacking. Like, I feel unimportant when you say yes to everybody else but me. Like, you know, however you gonna say it, you gotta put it out there. Okay, I see y'all comments. Derek says, I've seen it. I tend to put my woman before everybody. Okay, Derek, I see you. That's what it should be. Okay. Now I know it's gonna be no, no, and to each their own. Look, this is just my opinion. Y'all move how y'all feel like y'all need to move. Okay. I ain't telling you one way or another. We just sharing here. You hear me? That's all I'm saying. Mawanda Woodson, what's the science? Winning. Yes, yes, we are winning, right? We alive. We on this side of the dirt. We winning. Okay, so y'all, let me go ahead and talk about a few more of these. We're gonna get into this true false game, and I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all about to hear my stomach growling. Now, for the woman that's dealing with a man that has this nice guy syndrome, encourage his growth. You know, don't enable those behaviors, right? And just gently remind him, baby, it's okay to say no. You ain't got to say yes all the time to everybody else. Make room for me. However you're going to say it, right? Establish healthy boundaries. Just like he needs to establish boundaries, his wife also needs to establish her own, right? And while you supporting, it's cute that you support and sis, but know that it's okay to be like, hey, baby, some more attention. You might need a little bit more attention and speak up when you feel like you're being taken for granted because he already think you're not going to go nowhere. This is a nice guy syndrome. He already think you're not going nowhere, right? So you got to speak up like, yay, hey, yo. Say it nice, though, however you want to say it. I mean, I would recommend being nice because you don't want people on the defensive. And that's one thing that I've learned in life. Presentation is everything because you don't want to put people on the defensive when y'all having a conversation. You don't want to be on the defensive. And be compassionate but firm. Okay? Have some compassion. I'm about to say compassion. See, the hunger is taking over. um, so basically, she should not accept behavior that makes her feel unimportant or like she's to the side. She deserves some attention too. So encourage him to get help. You know. All right, and then of course with anything, seek couples therapy. So anyway, so for the person, lastly, for the bridesmaid, this is what I would say. Okay, um, I could imagine if I had to deal with anything like that, but allow yourself to grieve, sis. Right? Have an honest conversation with your husband. Go to him first because that's the one he look. He made the vow. He the one loyal to you. Look, let's not pull up on the side piece yet. We shouldn't pull up on her yet, even though she wrong. She wrong too. Okay, pull up on your husband first though. You know, like listen, because he's the one that made the vow to you. He's the one that made the vow. All right. So let's see here. All right, y'all. What else y'all got? Anything? I got anything for me? All right, y'all. Let's get into this true false game, and then I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all chiming in tonight, right? And I hope that y'all look. If y'all ain't got caught up with no April Fool's jokes, may y'all be wise on today. All right, y'all. So let's determine if these situations are true or false. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the chat, then I'm gonna read it. All right. Boom. So this first one, let me take this number off of here. All right. So is this true or false? Is this a real story or not? Okay. All right. So a well-known pastor in Atlanta preached about evils of sin on Sunday, but by night he secretly owned a strip club across town in a different name. His congregation only found out when one of the deacons recognized the club's logo from the church budget report. Is this a true story or is this false? Now, while y'all thinking about that, let me tell you something. So, anyway, I was having a conversation. This was a while ago, right? And so, this person had frequented like strip clubs, right? I mean, strip clubs or whatever. So, told me had all the tea. Listen, I wasn't gossiping. It just was coming to me. I was just listening. I was just doing my due diligence. I was listening. Okay. So anyway, this person told me that this well-known pastor here was up in a strip club. Like, oh, okay. You know, maybe they were saving souls. Allegedly. Okay. Allegedly was in the strip club. I wasn't there, so I don't know. So what y'all think? True? So let's see here. Tonality says true. Derek says true. Okay, so y'all, actually, this is false, but this is inspired by a real case because there was a video that had leaked that he wasn't running the strip club, but he was caught in some extracurricular activities, probably getting a little lap dance, eating some fried chicken, getting a little lap dance or something. How y'all feel? Was Pastor wrong for that? Should they? What y'all thinking? All right, so let's see here. Here is another one, y'all. Here is another one. All right, y'all, look at this one. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one is entitled The Man. Thank you. Right there. Okay, so y'all, let's look at this one, then we're going to get out of here. Okay, so is this true or false, y'all? I'm going to bring this on. The man who proposed with a ring from his ex-wife. A man proposed to his girlfriend with a diamond ring only for her to find out it was the same ring he had given his ex-wife years before. He even admitted that he never changed the engraving inside. Is that true or false, y'all? What y'all thinking? That's true. Is that true or false? So Tanali says, Pastor said, listen, no judgment. Maybe he was just hungry. Maybe everything else was closed. Because in some places, some of these places be closed, and you might not want White Castle or crystals. Crystals is there, right? He might not want no crystals. He might have wanted some wings. Better be false based on engraving. Okay, so what y'all thinking? True. Okay, all right. Any others? What y'all thinking? First of all, listen. Again, no judgment because I understand that getting married and men buy the rings, it can be really expensive and stuff like that. But bruh, have some cool. How you gonna take a ring from your ex and give it to the new babe? See, I'm big on energy. Like I'm really big on energy and all that stuff. Like, those that are close to me know I am big on energy. Like, even when I donate clothes, like I am big on energy, right? So, yeah, anyway, how you gonna do? You didn't even change the engraving, right? You could have went to the pawn shop. The pawn shop, some nice stuff in there. Pastor was hungry for biscuits. Listen. No judgment. No judgment. I'm just saying. All right, so as far as this story, it is absolutely true. This happened in 2022 in Houston. The woman found out when her fiance's ex-wife made a shady Facebook post exposing him. So y'all, this was actually true. Happened 2022 in Houston, and the ex-wife made a Facebook post exposing him, right? Listen, I know my mama and grandmama used to say, God ain't gonna have you ignorant, right? So listen, if you moving out here, move right, right? Just move right. Tell the truth. Hey, baby, I can't afford this ring. Can I give you my exes? How you feel? Just saying. That's diabolical. At least, listen. I'd rather not. Don't be giving me nothing you didn't give your ex. What am I gonna do with that, right? Anyway. So, all right, y'all. So, anyway, we are getting low on time. There's some other stuff I wanted to talk about, but hey, we'll cover those on a future episodes. Thank y'all so much for chiming in tonight. Y'all know I always appreciate y'all participation. 64 episodes, y'all. 64 episodes. And it's all because of y'all support. So, thank you so much. Special shout out to my mom, Lyric, the Grishams, right? The Grishams are some family that I just learned about last year, and the the bloodline is crazy. Maybe one day I'll do a show about it. Aunt Anna and my viewers, I appreciate y'all. So thank y'all so much for listening. And listen now, y'all know I got to get philosophical for a minute. Now I get a little deep, but you know what? Truth is, now life can feel unpredictable, and Reese even talked about some things earlier. And while some situations can really have us question our reality, how we handle them is really what defines us, right? Because I truly do believe, even though in the moment it be feeling like, real, this is what we doing. Nothing in life is truly personal. It's all for our growth. That's what I believe. You believe whatever you want to believe. I believe that nothing is truly personal. It's all for growth, right? Now, although we cannot always, the truth is, we cannot always control what happens, but we can definitely control how we respond. Okay. So whether you're dealing with relationship drama, workplace, dating, work shenanigans, whatever, peace is your power. And don't give away your energy. How you respond, that determines how much energy you give out. And I'm telling you, and I ain't gonna act like I deal with things perfectly all the time because I don't. I'm human, and I'm not gonna. Even though my intention is to be pure, I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect, right? But I'm just saying. Hold on. I've been brushing up on bloodlines lately. Crazy work. Yes. Now you know what? I don't know about doing the 21 and me, 23 and me. I don't know. I'm cool, but um, that's how I found these relatives, and even found that I'm related to some major people. Like Martin Luther King is a cousin. The king is my cousin, right? Along with some other bloodline. It's really interesting. But anyway, so with that being said, when life is feeling like it's playing tricks on you, you know what? Listen, take time, get into self, always stand on your boundaries, and trust that no matter whatever comes your way, you're strong enough to handle it. And truthfully, even though if it's bad, it's all working out for your good some kind of way. All right. So an affirmation that I have for you. Oh, and of course, y'all know I'm gonna do my spiel. So y'all almost let me forget. Y'all was gonna let me forget. So anyway, I am resilient and I'm in control of my life. Every situation that seems like a prank is an opportunity for me to grow and protect my peace. All right. So please make sure that you're liking, subscribing across all platforms on YouTube. Relationship Soup. Period. You got to put the period in there. If you don't put the period, you're gonna be somewhere else. If you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. On IG, it's Relationship Soup. Don't forget the website, relationshipsoup.com. All right. And as always, y'all, I hope that this you picked up something from this episode. I hope that every episode resonates somehow. And always remember to love yourself until we meet next time, Lord willing. Right? Y'all have a fantastic rest of your week. I love you. And until we meet again, peace.